How's it going, everybody? My name is Ryan45678 and welcome back to the 1976 MR175. In the process of things, we've been going through putting some new parts in, new bearings, new seals, reassembling some things, and in this video we're going to be putting these transmission parts, I think all of them, back in here, most of them permanently, some of them temporarily just to test the transmission. Because that's what I would like to do before I put the cases back together with the crankshaft and everything. So yeah, before we get started, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you end up enjoying it or finding it useful. Subscribe for more projects and videos specifically on the Elsinore and other things. And as always, if you want to support the channel, there are affiliate links in the description below, and also normal links to CMSNL where you can get parts for this bike and others like it. So yeah, essentially we're going in reverse order of the last part of taking down the transmission, not including the bearing retainers because we've already done that. It's essentially these pieces here. It's a few things. Basically, there's a little fork thing that kicks the shift drum over, and that's what we need to get working. So I went ahead and watched my previous video just to get an idea of what needs to be done and in what order, and it's reverse. So essentially what we got, let me show you. Alright, so here's my notes. It's this is the order we took it apart. Basically need to do the opposite. So the shift shaft spring, which is this piece right here, I believe, but I think we actually need a pin in there first, if I remember correctly, because this goes here, it needs to go on something. Yeah, I think we need that pin. So anyway, I don't have everything, but I had pretty much everything, so let me double check my stuff and we'll get started. Alright, so for sure the first thing we're putting in is this little guy. I don't know what you call it, but it's some kind of post. I was really confused because I had two of them, but then I remembered the new case came with one as well. So I think this one's the original. It looks like it has less wear, so we'll use it. It is a 12mm. It goes right in that hole. Sorry, I was going to put some Loctite on it just because this one also had a locking tab on it. That'll work. It's going to be Loctite everywhere. It's better than nothing though. So we're going to use a 12 for that. I don't have a torque spec, but I'm just going to make it tight. The Loctite will take care of the rest. Let me dab some of that off. So next, I believe, was the spring for the shift shaft. So that's just going to go right here, and you have to kind of open it up. Let's see if these good old snap ring pliers will work for it. I kind of doubt it. Look like they're kind of weak. Yeah, they might actually do it. What do you know? Oops. They actually worked pretty darn good. So I'm going to put this on there and make sure I got it in the right configuration, because I don't think the spring goes on the bottom. I think it actually goes on the top. It kind of works to put it in there sideways and then turn it, and then you can open it up like that. Excellent. Okay, hold up. Before we go any further, I have to undo what I just did because there's actually supposed to be a locking tab underneath that stud thing, whatever you call it. There we go. That's much better than when I took this off. It bit me when I took it off. So quickly, before the Loctite dries, we need to take this off and put the locking tab back on. I think it goes here. Yeah, it goes there. Then we put it on. I think the Loctite will be fine. If not, the locking tab is literally going to lock it, so I think we'll be okay. I hate these things, to be honest, though. It's so bad because it's going to easily make you accidentally want to dent something, hit something you don't want to. There, that's one part locked. I don't know. I don't like this. Pliers, maybe? I definitely have enough to grip here, so probably. Yeah, there we go. There, that's perfect. That's all we need. That one is in, and we'll put the spring back. I should be a veteran at this by now. The spring, I mean. Just There we go. Perfect. Next, we have this thing, which I believe, I know from my video, it goes washer here, this little thing here, I think, because I think the spring is here, and then the long end of the threads goes into that hole, which I'm going to Loctite, and then the spring goes here. So I think the way I took it off was the opposite, where, oops, the spring was on the post, which I guess to make it easier to do this way, just hook it on. Although either way is kind of difficult. It's not easy, so anyway, it's on. And then we'll Loctite this sucker. And then right. Yeah, that has to be right. Yeah, because this thing screws in. There's a little place for that to fit on there. It's just going to make it a little bit difficult to get the shift drum on there when we need to, though, is all. But we'll deal with that when we get to it. That's not right. Make sure you line up the hole so it doesn't do that. The good thing about that, though, is now we can line this up without having anything in the way. Yep, that'll do it. I just have to make sure that's out of the way. That's going to be hard, to be honest. Tell you what, I think for the sake of things, I'm going to get this spring off and we'll put it on later. It's just easier to put parts in when there's no spring tension. I can always put a spring in under spring tension, but parts under spring tension is another story. Yeah, I should have not done this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Oh, there we go. That's the entire spring off anyway. We'll just keep that here. Alright, so just to make things clear, this part is the stopper arm and collar with its spring, and on top of that, which is our next step, is the neutral stopper and spring, which just sits on top like that, and the spring just goes in. Spring just goes in. I said the spring just goes in. It's not cooperating. Gonna need, oops, to either, let me try just putting the spring on first and then pulling this over. Perfect. That's probably how you're supposed to do it. So I guess the neutral stopper goes this way. Let's see how it could go any other way. And then something else is going to go on top of this, which is probably this thing, just not yet. Okay, so tell you what, I think what we need to do at this point is put the shift drum in, because it's going to be difficult to do otherwise. So let's do that. So I think the easiest way to do this maybe is to just put this other case half on, because there's just no easy way to hold this up without like bending the shift or messing up the shift where the shift drum sits, just because of, I mean, I'm kind of have to lean it a certain way, so I'm just gonna do that really quick temporarily. If I can get it lined up. Yeah, there we go. Ow! Pinch. Okay. So that's just temporary while we assemble this. Alright, so now we'll put the spring in. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we should be able to do it. Alright, so I basically come to the conclusion that I had to take this bolt off to get the spring in, because that's the way it came out, was the bolt came out and then the spring, so it makes sense going in that it'd be the spring goes on and then the bolt goes on. So if we can get that, see, I wouldn't have been able to even get that spring on the way I was trying. Even if I did get it far enough, it just wouldn't go. So just expand it a little bit and pop it on. See, this is why I hate springs, because they're so dumb. There we go, I just have to push it a little bit harder. Alright, let's put it back on. So Loctite it up. Too much. Okay. This is probably going to be even harder, but it is possible. Somebody did it when this thing got built. Yeah, because if I could line it up like that, at least put this in there. Like that. Line it up enough to start the threads. Come on. Come on. Okay, this might be working. I kind of got this plate pointed up, and if I pull it just enough, I can start to screw this in. But it hurts. That's enough to get it on the hole, and I can kind of feed it in, use itself as leverage a little bit. There we go. That's what I should have been doing from the beginning, and I might even cut out my failed attempts at this just to save you guys some time. But this is what ended up working. See if I can demonstrate it a little bit better after I get this on. Yeah, I'm not taking that drum back out, I'm leaving that in. Oops, that's not right. Forgot I need to line that stupid thing with it. That's going to be the even more fun part. There we go. If I push here on this little thing, kind of pushes it the right way a little bit. Nope. This is so bad. This might do it. These snap ring pliers between the spring and the plate thing. Kind of. No. It's probably just going to take shoving something in there, getting it lined up right, because this is not working. There, almost had it. It's just like the opposite of a good idea, I know, but what else am I going to freaking do? There, it's up on it. There we go. If I can, I got it. I managed to push the thing up on it. So if I screw down, and it'll stay, if it'll stay, that's good. I think I got it. Finally. Man. It took way too long. I think I ended up scratching this stupid thing, like right here, which really sucks, but I don't know what else I could have done. Alright, so finally we have this thing, just a neutral stopper, which has a similar problem with the spring, but it should have an easier time getting over here, because it's just a matter of pulling it, pushing that. So this one will have to pull the spring as after it's on, I think. Just a little more accessible, so it shouldn't be as bad. Or maybe, there we go. do this, and we'll pull the plate second. I really hate springs, if you guys couldn't already tell. Alright, that's halfway there. Come on, I had it on. Ow! That wasn't good. Now it's stuck this way. Alright, so I give up on doing the spring second. I don't think that's ever going to work. So what we're going to have to do is find a way to get this thing over without it coming off and getting misaligned, which isn't going to work. So maybe what I do is I put something here to keep this from going this far. So like this dowel, and use that as a pivot point to get it lined up, maybe. Yeah, like that. Nah, that didn't stay, but nope. I should probably put the nut on then, because I think the nut goes, yeah, the nut has to go on there. So let's put the nut on, just hand tight, just so it'll keep this piece on. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Probably just mad. Yeah, so let's do that, and then see if we can't move this over. Okay, yeah, kind of worked. Still not exactly where I want it. Here we go. If we take it off the drum and push it back forward so it can kind of go down. Maybe. I need 3 hands for this though. Like this. It's a little better. This is probably the worst way I could think of to do this, but it's kind of working. Here we go. Maybe pliers, simple solution. Maybe maybe that's it. I was gonna say, but it doesn't like me. Because this spring goes on pretty easy once you get it, if you can get it. Like, break this stupid thing. I would die inside if this works. Just using the tip of the pliers to pull it and put it on. And it worked. Barely, but it worked. There we go. That is on. And please don't come back up. That should be it for that. Then we have this, which goes in a certain order. I think it was the way it was. So it was like a lock washer here. Guide plate. Right? And then this. Doesn't make sense, except it goes in, yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, like that. So maybe the lock washer was inside, that would make more sense. No, the way it lines up and the way I put it on, there's the lock washer on the bottom. Let's double check the manual. It shows, if it shows this piece. It doesn't quite really show my bike. I don't know why. I don't see a guide plate. You know what, I think this actually needs to go on after the shift pulls, so we will put that in there. And the shift gear thing, whatever. Which does need to line up a specific way. It needs to line this notch up with the bottom here. You can kind of see the notch, hopefully. And then put that back. I believe, right? Yeah. Yes, just like that. Yep. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I got this right. Wherever we last left off, I don't remember, but basically this gear goes on there, lined up that hole with that hole. I remember that I talked about that, and then this plate just kind of slides under. So that's gonna go. We need to Loctite both of these. I mean, we don't have to, but I'd rather, because I know they're in the right position. And I think what we need to do with the shift drum in a second is turn it, because I don't think it's in an actual position. A little bit of Loctite here. That's not a little bit, it's a lot. Okay, that's good enough. I guess this one's kind of redundant because it's got a lock washer already, but whatever. And we're good. And honestly, I think that's it. It's just this little shift shaft thing goes down in there. And we'll I'll take the second case half off for now. Take the shaft out. There we go. Oof. Okay, so I'm not sure where neutral is, but I just assume it's okay. I see what's going on here. This let me see if I can show you. The drum turns like that. The gear doesn't go all the way. It's not supposed to anyway. So that's neutral, I guess. Not really sure, to be honest. Yeah, so that's got to be right. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to put the transmission in, close the cases up again, and then shift through the gears. Alright, so let's do this real quick. Line these gears up. Put it in. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So we don't have all the height we need. Right. Let's just push this all the way in. There we go. what is locking up here? Oh, it's probably not in a valid configuration. So let me put the forks on. Yeah, it's probably just, it definitely is not in a valid configuration, that's for sure. There we go. I think I just had these in the wrong, I'm not sure what I did, but now they line up. It lines up with the hole. Here, now I get this last one. There. There we go. So assuming that's correct, everything should be right. Put this case on and we'll check it. Yeah, so I definitely have the flats and the rib things right, because if it, I don't know if you can tell, but if I put it any other way, the sticking out piece would rub. So we're good on that front. Alright, I think that's good. Yep, there we go. Everything's in there. So now we just got to put the shaft in there and shift through the gears. So we'll see. There we go. Good, that's a good thing. We can turn it. It's in some gear right now. I don't know which. But we will put the shift shaft on there. See what happens. Alright, now this thing is filthy, but it'll work. And I probably need a new one because it's kind of bent. All I'm doing is sticking it on there. Yeah, that's good enough for me. So if it'll shift, it'll shift. So must be in first gear, so I don't know. Did that work? I don't know. It's a different gear. It feels harder to do. And I can shift back, and it seemed to shift into neutral, maybe, I don't know. Might have just got it misaligned. You know what, I think I'm a dum-dum because I forgot that a lot of these shifts that you have to make, you have to do it with the bike with the transmission moving, just because of the way the dogs work. This looks like first gear probably, and if we, whoops. That sounded like a half click to me, so like neutral. Yes, that is neutral, indeed. Very much. What do you know? It's lined up. It's not lined up, I don't know what they meant by that. I think it's, yeah. Anyway, I think it's going to be fine. Alright, so I think we're okay. What I did was I took two of the screws, one on the top, one on the bottom, put them in, left a tiny gap as if there was a gasket. And I think the trick is turning it while you do it, because now that I think about it, it makes sense. From my experience, I haven't had any luck shifting a bike while it's stopped. It tends to kind of get in a weird state, and that's what's happening here, because this is the very bottom. I'm trying to shift to neutral. It doesn't. Okay, this is neutral. Okay, this is whatever, and then that's first, I think. That's first gear for sure, and then neutral, second, and then down to neutral while it's turning. Or first, really. Here's first. And then half click to neutral. And then down to first in neutral. There we go. Let's try to neutral. There we go. And then while it's spinning. Oops. Okay, so while it's spinning, neutral. Down. Okay, it was working before. That's neutral, because I'm doing like not doing it all the way and it's messing it up. So, yep, first gear. Full shift up. Full shift up. It's the third, I believe, and then this should be fourth. Well. There we go, that's a full shift. That might be fifth, actually. I'm not sure what happened there, but... that feels like fifth. Yeah, that's fifth right there. I think the problem is also I keep getting this thing bumped out. But anyway, down to fourth, down to third, second, I think. I thought. Okay, maybe not. Second, first, neutral. Yeah, I keep getting it mixed this thing off, which is messing me up. But it's good. I figured out how to shift to everything, and I'm pretty sure it's good. So that's gonna be it. I'll try to shorten that as much as I can, because that's going to be way too long of me just fiddling around. But that is the transmission, pretty much verified that it's put together correctly. So the next thing is going to be putting in the crankshaft, and that hopefully won't take very long. So yeah, hopefully this video is informative at least, if not helpful. And so yeah, that's going to be it. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more projects, and as always, there are affiliate links in the description below if you want to support the channel, as well as just normal links to CMSNL where you can get parts for this bike and others like it. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.